And
You're
by
the
way,
worst
you were a
president
vice-
America has ever had.
Hey,
Come
Joe,
on.
far fewer people are dying. We've done a great job.
Everybody knows he's a liar.
Joe, you're the liar. Go ahead,
Wrong
Joe.
guy,
Talk,
the wrong
Joe,
night at
go.
the wrong time.
Listen, in 47 months, I've done more than you've done in 47 years, Joe.
Well, he's just shush for a minute.
Ukraine.
No, sir.
With $1 billion, if you
that
don't get rid
is
of
absolutely
you know what, you're- wait,
not
stop.
true.
Gentlemen.
we would have listened to you, the country would have been left wide open. Millions of people would have died, not 200,000, and one person is too much. It's China's fault. It should have never happened. Many of you Democrat governors said, President Trump did a phenomenal job. We worked with the governor. Oh, really? Go take a look. Far fewer people are dying. We've done a great job. The only thing I haven't done a good job, and that's because of the fake news. But I'll tell you, Joe, you could never have done the job that we did. You don't have it in your blood. You could have never done that job.
He still hasn't even acknowledged that he knew this was happening, knew how dangerous it was going to be back in February, and he didn't even tell you. He's on record as saying it. He panicked or he just looked at the stock market, one of the two, because guess what? A lot of people died. And a lot more are going to die unless he gets a lot smarter, a lot quicker.
So-
Mr. President?
Did you use the word smart? You graduated either the lowest or almost the lowest in your class. Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word.
Oh, give me a break.
Because you know what? There's nothing smart about you, Joe. 47 years, you've done nothing.
let's have it
You didn't
done.
do very well in swine flu. H1N1, you were a disaster. Your own chief of staff said you were a disaster.
14,000 people died, not 200,000. We didn't shut down the economy.
Joe, 100 million people is totally wrong. I don't know where you got that number. The bigger problem that you have is that
You have never in these 4 years come up with a plan, a comprehensive plan
Yes, I
to
have.
replace Obamacare.
Of course I have.
Well, I'll
I
give
got
you
rid
an
of the
and when
individual
I finish,
mandate.
I'm going to give you an
Excuse
opportunity.
me, I got rid of the individual mandate. Chris,
You're
that was the
debating him,
worst
not
part
me.
of Obama.
Let me ask my
Well,
question.
first of all, I guess I'm debating you, not him. Obamacare is no good. We made it better, and I had a choice to make very early on. We took away the individual mandate. The problem is, no matter how well you run Obamacare, it's a disaster. It's too expensive.
Okay. About
All of the
pre-existing
things that
conditions.
we've done,
He has not cut
insulin.
health
I give
care.
you an example. Insulin. I'm getting it for so cheap. It's like water. You want to know the truth? So cheap.
Fact is that everything he's saying so far is simply a lie. He hasn't lowered drug costs for anybody. He's been promising a health care plan since he got elected. He has none. He is not for any help for people needing health care. Well, there's 7 million people that contracted COVID. What does it mean for them going forward if you strike down the Affordable Care Act? What I proposed is that we expand Obamacare and we increase it. It is simply
Your party
a lie.
doesn't say it. Your party
That is
wants
simple.
to go socialist
My
medicine.
party is
and
me.
socialist
Right
healthcare.
now, I am
and
the
they're going to
Democratic
dominate
Party.
you, Joe.
Of Abraham Lincoln. Question for the two of you is why I think that the country would be better served if we allowed both people to speak with fewer interruptions. I'm appealing to you, sir, to do that.
Well, and him too.
Well, frankly, you've been doing more interrupting
Well, that's
than
all
he
right,
has.
but he does plenty. I had to close the greatest economy in the history of our country. He wants to shut down this country. And I want to keep it open. We closed it down, and now we're reopening, and we're doing record business. We had 10.4 million people in a 4-month period that we've put back into the workforce. That's a record the likes of which nobody's ever seen before.
My economic plan would create 7 million more jobs than his in 4 years, number one. And number two, it would create an additional $1 trillion in economic growth. They've done nothing to help small businesses. Nothing. They're closing. 1 in 6 is now gone. He ought to get on the job and take care of the needs of the American people so we can open safely.
All right.
Did a crime bill, 1994, where you call them super predators, African Americans, the super predators, and they've never forgotten it. They've never forgotten it, Joe.
never said
No, sir, it's his 2 minutes.
So you did that, and they call you a super predator, and I'm letting people out of jail now that you have treated the African American population community. You have treated the black community about as bad as anybody in this country. You did the 1990, and that's why, if you look at the polls, I'm doing better than any Republican has done in a long time.
Yes, there is. There's systemic injustice in this country, in education and work and in law enforcement. And a young woman got killed. And they asked the president what he thought. He said there were very fine people on both sides. No president has ever said anything like that. You have to look at what he did. And what he did has been disastrous for the African American community.
Millions of dollars in taxes, millions of dollars of income tax. He passed a tax bill that gave us all these privileges for depreciation and for tax credits. We build a building and we get tax credits, like the hotel on Pennsylvania Avenue. You get a massive, which, by the way, was given to me by the Obama administration, if you can believe that.
The tax code that made him, put him in a position that he pays less tax than a school teacher makes, on the money a school teacher makes, is because of him he says he's smart because he can take advantage of the tax code. And he does take advantage of the tax code. That's why I'm going to eliminate the Trump tax cuts. You're the worst president America has ever had.
Hey,
Come
Joe,
on.
I will tell you very simply, we won the election. Elections have consequences. We have the Senate, we have the White House, and we have a phenomenal nominee.
The American people have a right to have a say in who the Supreme Court nominee is. But she's written before she went on the bench, which is her right, that she thinks that the Affordable Care Act is not constitutional. And so it's just not appropriate to do this before this election.
You have to understand, if you look, I mean, I have a mask right here. I put a mask on, when I think I need it. I don't wear masks like him. Every time you see him, he's got a mask. He could be speaking 200 feet away from it. He shows up with the biggest mask I've ever seen.
Masks make a big difference. His own head of the CDC said if we just wore masks between now, everybody wore masks in social distance between now and January, we'd probably save up to 100,000 lives.